Okay, so this is the video about the Bobath Method inspired transfer. You also got a handout about this topic, and I really recommend you to read this handout before you watch this video, because it just explains the backgrounds of everything a lot more in detail and will answer a lot of questions that might arise during this video. So the first thing you should always have an eye out for when transferring someone else is safety. As you may have noticed, Sam, the one I'm transferring today, and me are both wearing solid shoes. If you don't do that, you're very likely to slip and thereby hurt yourself and the person you're transferring. If you don't have solid shoes on you, I really recommend you to do it rather barefoot than only in socks, because that can be pretty slippery. Also, you should make the space you need, meaning it's much easier to transfer someone if you place the wheelchair, or in our case the stool, in an angle to the place you want to transfer to that is smaller than 90 degrees. And I'm talking about the angle on the back side here, not about the angle in front, obviously. Also remember what you have learned about the key points in your body. Key points are points in your body that when they get some kind of an input like pressure, send a large amount of information to your central nervous system. And you should always try and keep those key points in line, because that helps you build up a really strong muscle tone, thereby build up a lot of stability that helps you during the transfer. So basically that means always have the key points in your chest and your hip in line, meaning keep your back straight and bend your knees a little so the key point in your ankles and your hip is in one line. Also, this method can help the person you are transferring to build a strong muscle tone themselves, thereby helping you during the transfer. So also always try and have their ankles and knees in one line. What can also help them build up some muscle tone is reducing the so-called supporting surface, meaning the surface they're sitting on. To do that, you either ask the person to shuffle to the edge of their wheelchair, or if they can't do that themselves, you step closer, stretch your arm out, and really tense your muscles in here, because this is the person sitting is going to lean against your arm, and you put your other hand on their hip and pull them forward. Then you lean them to the other side and pull the other hip forward. After doing that, check that their ankles are directly under their knees. While doing that, you may have noticed that I always had one hand still on their shoulders. I'm doing that to stabilize them. In case they fall down, I will notice and I can help them. Next thing is, you try to decide if the person you're transferring has a weaker side. The weaker side is, for example, the side in the body that's more paralyzed or shows more spasms. If you can't decide if there's a weaker and a stronger side, just choose the side you're more comfortable with stabilizing. I myself prefer to stabilize the side that is in the direction of my destination of the transfer. So stabilized, I mostly mean the leg. For that, I'm placing my own feet hip width apart and bend my knees, and with my knees I'm pinching the knees of the person I want near the person I want to transfer, making sure they're really stable here. Then I'm placing my hands. There will be a picture in this video exactly showing you where I place my hands on Sam's back, because you really shouldn't just lift a person up by their armpits, because that can really hurt their shoulder joints. You should rather reach through their arms and place your hand onto their shoulder blade. On that side, you're also leaning the person forward and let their chest rest on your shoulder. Be careful that you don't do it too high, because that can really hurt their neck. So rest their chest on your shoulder, and the other hand you're placing on their hip. And with that hand on the hip, you push their pelvis forward, and this will make them stand up. So 1, 2, 3. And we are both standing. Then I do little tiny steps and pushing their feet as well. You're turning to where you want them to sit down, and then slowly bend your own knees again, not your back, until they sit, and then lean them back. And then, and that's it.